Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's been another week, and I did find some time to finish this round of painting, the next round of painting on my two squads of Termagants. This time I painted all of their weapons as well as their claws and hooves. The weapons are almost done. There are still a few details here and there, as well as maybe some touch-ups on their bodies as well. But that's coming in the final video, with which we will finish these two units. Now, when I say units, despite the fact that that means a total of 20 models, units are actually composed of several models or just one model in case of specific large monsters or vehicles. But since these guys are 10 to a squad, so to speak, to a unit, I only have 2 units of these to paint. Fortunately, because let me tell you, it can be a chore to paint these guys, especially when you're trying to do it like I am and really do care about the itty bitty details not spilling over, and you don't have a well taught muscle memory for your hands, and you constantly mess things up and have to go back and fix your mistakes. And let me tell you, fixing mistakes is not as easy as it sounds, especially when working with these bright colors on a white primer. Now, I'm guessing it would be better on a black primer, but that would have really desaturated all of the colors. Now, the problem is that when you want to fix a mistake, you have to first go back to white, meaning you have to always have white on the side as a color to help you first bring white back up to the forefront and then put the correct color over it. So since I went with the etheric blue on all of the inner ridges and so on and so forth, and they look great, whenever I accidentally touch it even a little bit, even a drop of simply just touching the tip of my brush where it shouldn't go, even if I try to take it away with a clean brush or with just a damp brush, that doesn't really always work, and it will be a little bit messy. So if I want it to be perfect, I have to come back with white, wait for white to fully dry, and then come back again with etheric blue. This can take a while. Fortunately, when working across multiple models, even if I do make a mistake, I can just put it with a bit of white and let it dry while I work on something else on a different model. So there's that. Let's talk a little bit about the colors that I used. For the weapons, I went with Trollslayer Orange. It's another bright color, and it's a complementary color to the orange, to the purple, to the make purple that I use for their bodies, and to the Shaiish purple that I'm going to use for the bony parts on the weapon, the spikes and the carapace on the weapons, as well as the hoofs and claws of the units. It really makes the weapon stand out, and it's clearly visible, and it looks great. It honestly does look great. Now, on the previous 3 test models, I didn't pay very good attention to their hooves, and there are these fleshy bits that are sort of overgrown over the hooves, and those I kept in etheric blue when they're really internal fleshy parts, and it looks really great on these. And painting this shade purple really brings those fleshy bits out, and I'm really doing a much better job learning. Each model I paint, it's a learning experience, and I'm doing better and better with each one. That being said, on the last 3 models I was kind of tired, and I just wanted to be done with it, and I did make a few mistakes. But what I want to try on my next batch, also, I kind of need an excuse to use it because my new compressor has arrived and I can't wait to test it out. But I don't really like how the etheric blue caught on those inside pieces. It's a really pale color, and while it did taint all over it, I'm still seeing a lot of white. So I want to try and see if I can't really just push it through the airbrush and make it more uniform and give it a better. I'm still going to go for the joints, but I'm hoping that through the airbrush I achieve a more uniform color on it, especially since it shouldn't be like, bright or that effect that you get from contrast paint where it pulls in the recesses. I kind of don't want it to do that, but I really like the color, so I'm going to try and see if I can apply it as a filter, so to speak. But since it's going to be the first one, I'm still going to have to be very careful not to mess it up afterwards with the rest of the colors, because again, it's going into all of the resources between the fleshy chitinous and carapace thingies. So I want to keep that one as much as possible. So if I were to do it as the last step, I would have to come with white, cover everything. I might lose some details because I would have to make it a bit powerful, the white, and if I mess it up, I'm going to go over parts that I want. I'm still in the same thing, and if I mess it up, I'm going to mess up the entire paints that I did, and I'd have to go back and so on and so forth. So it would be annoying. This way, I'm also forcing myself to make sure I don't mess up the etheric blue. So either way, I have to be very attentive to what I'm doing. So like I said, all of the plates, chitinous plates on the weapons, I'm doing with shade purple, and this is a fine contrast color. It's purple, but way darker than the Magos purple that I used for their fleshy bits for their body, and it generates very good contrast, and you can clearly see that it's fine. And again, with the Dark Angels green, which I'm going to use for the body carapace, it looks great. Now let's talk a little bit, because I'm noticing now, again, I was hoping by this time I would have fixed the focus problem, but these little tiny bits, I use the same technique that I used before filming in 4K and just cropping it to 1080p right into focus in the center of the screen. But as you can see, due to the fact that it's a really tiny piece, I had to move it closer and farther away from my sight, from my eyes, and doing so, actually, I moved it out of the sweet spot for the camera. Right now I'm using a manual focus, and that's good in certain situations. As you saw in the previous video, it was really good because everything was kept in place right where I wanted them to be. But now I was all over the place with my positioning to get into each and every nook and cranny where I need to get with the thing and still see what I'm doing. So I wasn't really very, in focus with the camera. I need to find a better way. And this is kind of more one of the things I would like to see a feature on the newer phones with a smart focus assist. But from what I'm seeing, nobody actually cares about that. Instead, doing other things like cropping out stuff and doing stuff. I'm not interested in that. What I would really like is for them to make a camera with like a variable autofocus that kind of follows or tracks an object. Guys, get on that, make my life a little bit easier. I'm probably not gonna buy one of those AI phones anytime soon, but who knows, maybe in like 3 years or something, it will be so cheap that I can buy in. That's one of the features that I would really, really like to have. Like, an AI focus. Oh, that would be so cool. Get on that, guys. Samsung, if you're watching my 170 subscriber channel, you know what to do. Oh, good grief. I like to give myself a little laugh once in a while. Right. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Overall, it's been another about 4 hours getting to this point. I had to honestly split it across 2 days of work because it's been a bit of a rough week for me. But hey, yeah, again, the squad is almost done. Just one more step, the chitinous on their backs, and it's gonna be done. So stick around, and if you enjoyed the channel, you know what to do. Please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button, and share it with a friend. Help my channel grow. Thank you very much for sticking up to this point. We're almost close to the end. I'm putting the final touches on these last few models so that you can see what I'm doing, and I will show you in just a few seconds the whole 2 units, both of them, 20 models, painted to perfection, almost ready for the tabletop. Just the chitinous things on their back and a few details here and there on their base, around their feet, some parts that need a bit of a touch up, as well as the eye on their guns. Alright, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.